In this video, we'll be fixing the @ issues in Javadoc comments. To explain what we mean by that, I'm referring to Javadoc documentation comment specification for the standard doclet JDK23. We'll scroll slightly down to the block tag section. And from here, it says, if you want to start a line with the @ character and not have it interpreted as a block tag, then use the HTML entity @#064 and a semicolon. So I'm just going to highlight this and I will copy it, but we can always come back to it if we ended up losing that copy, the copied item. So what I mean by that is, let's just say I'm going to scroll all the way to, for example, this documentation comment where we've only got a general description of the method because it doesn't have any params, it doesn't have any block tags basically. But let's just say that I wanted to do something like this. So let's just try to understand what they mean by if you want to start a line. First, I will show what happens when we don't start a line. If I put in for support, email us at support@example.com or visit our site. Maybe website. Oops. Let me save it. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to one level above in our package location. And I'm going to run the command prompt from there. And I will run the documentation command, javadoc -d docs and dynamic Java. What I'm then going to do is go into docs and go to index.html and go into our documentation, and I'll go to show welcome message. We can actually see this is not a problem. So we now understand that if we want to use the @ symbol inside a normal Javadoc comment, then it's absolutely okay. It doesn't matter if you use it in the middle of a line. However, if you start a new line with the @ that's when it's going to be a problem. So if let's show an example. Let's just say I'm going to copy this line and I'll just put it here. And I'll say @support@example.com. So this will be misinterpreted as a tag, and it will throw an error because there's no such a tag. Okay, so if we start off with an @ symbol, the Javadoc might mistakenly treat it as a block tag, like it would with @param and @return. And because there's no such block tag, that is pretty much support. So if we scroll all the way down to that table, there's nothing called support here. So that's not really a valid tag. So if I run Javadoc again, let's see what happens. I'm not sure if I did not save, so I'll save. I'll run Javadoc one more time. And this time I get an error. And the error says unknown tag, unregistered custom tag. So it doesn't recognize what it is. Okay, so if we need to sort of start off with the @ symbol, but we don't want it to be treated as a tag, then we will use the HTML escape code. Because I've lost what I've copied, because I did copy the email again, so I'm going to scroll back here, and now we will use the HTML entity to fix the problem or to find a solution. So the corrected version is, instead of this @ symbol, I'm going to paste that HTML entity that I've copied, that now this will be treated as plain text. Kind of got for a second, didn't know how to spell plain. So now we notice that the error is actually gone. I've only got a warning, but that's fine. I'm aware of that. And I'm going to run JavaDoc again and open up my documentation, and we can see that's been interpreted as plain text, and it has sort of safely converted that to a symbol. So this is the conclusion of how to fix the @ issues in JavaDoc comments. Just use the correct HTML entity to avoid that sort of tag, or to be interpreted as a block tag that doesn't exist, which will give us error. So that's pretty much the solution. Thank you so much for watching.